Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mary B. Piquero, your future educator. And today's vlog, we're diving into one of the most powerful and intense pieces of American literature, Jonathan Edwards' Sermon, in the hands of an angry God. Whether you're studying American history, literature, or just curious about old school fire and brainstorm preaching, this sermon is a must-read. Let's let's start with a quick summary of this sermon. Jonathan Edward was a preacher during the first Great Awakening in America. In this sermon, he uses vivid and terrifying imagery to depict the fate of sinners who have not accepted Christ into their hearts. Edward argues that people are at the mercy of God, and without His grace, they are doomed to eternal damnation. Edward's central point: humanity, according to him, is constantly on the verge of falling into hell, held only by the hands of an angry God. It's a stark, almost theatrical warning that reminds us how religion and rhetoric intersected in colonial American too. When I was reading this sermon, what struck me the most was how Edward spent this picture of people being just one misstep away from falling into eternal danger, like we're hanging by a thread. It reminded me of something personal I've been dealing with lately. I'm currently torn between two paths. On one hand, I'm working as a service crew, earning, helping my family, and gaining real world experience. On the other hand, I'm pursuing a degree in education, something I'm passionate about and see as a long term investment in myself. Every day, I felt the pressure of choosing which one to prioritize. Like Edward's image of dangling over the bars of judgment, I sometimes feel like I'm caught in a place where one wrong decision could cost me something important. What if I focus too much on work and delay my study? What if I chase school and rest the stability my job provides? It's not the same kind of eternal damnation he talks about, but the fear of failing at either or both is real. But unlike in Edward's sermon, where fear is meant to push people to immediate action, I think real life sometimes calls for reflection, not just urgency. Yes, we make hard choices. Yes, there's rest. But we also have grace, not just from a higher power, but from ourselves. Grace to be patient, to learn, to adjust. And that's something I am learning with to give myself. Edward's style reminds me of other literary works that use fear and hellish imagery to inspire change. Think of the more recent 1984 by George Orwell, where fear of surveillance and punishment keeps citizens in check. Or even the works of Edgar Allan Poe, who, like Edward's, tapped into the darker corners of human nature. At this connection between human vulnerability and powerful forces, whether divine, political, or psychological, that make this work so compelling. So what do we take away from the sinners in the hand of an angry God today? I think it's a reminder of how fear can both shape and distort our beliefs. In the context of the Great Awakening, this sermon helped people reawaken their faith, but it also shows how religion, rhetoric, and power were often used together to influence people's lives. Whether or not you believe in Edward's fairy vision of damnation, the message about the consequences of sin and the need for grace is still something that resonates into these religious and moral discussions. In a world where fear is often used as a tool to control, Edward's word reminds us of the dangers that come with it, and in the and the importance of finding a balance between fear and love in our spiritual lives. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments, do you think fear is an effective motivator for faith, or should we rely more on love and grace? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more literary discussion. See you next time!